Advaita Gadadhara Shivasti Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. So we just learned 2 verses. We'll say them together very quickly, yesterday's and today's. Ladinira Sada Prema Prema Sada Bhav Bhavarya Paramakasta Nama Mahabhav. And then Mahabhava Swarupa Shri Radha Thakurani Sarva Gunakani Krishna Kanta Shiromani, which means that Ladini means Krishna's pleasure potency. Radhika is actually the source of Swarup Shakti, and within Swarup Shakti there's 3 features: Ladini, Sandini and Samvit. Sandini comes first, which is the existence potency or Baladev. Then there's Samvit, which is the knowledge potency or cognizance, awareness, which is coming from Krishna. And then Ladini, which is the pleasure or bliss potency, which is Srimati Radhika. But Swarup Shakti is all part of Shakti actually. So this is another tattva. Anyhow, so Ladinir Sar, the essence, or Sar, Sar means the refined essence. So the essence of Ladini is Prem, which means also in this world, if you want to be happy, you can be happy for a small amount of time. Like people say, oh, I love pizza. In the West, people say, oh, I love ice cream, I love pizza, I love this, I love that. So we see, even though this is a very watered down conception of love, still, the idea is that without love, you can't get happiness or bliss. If you love something, then you find happiness by receiving it or being in contact with it. So you say, oh, I love pizza. That means if you take pizza, you feel happiness. So Ladini Rasada Prem, the essence of Ladini is Prem, love. Without love, you can't find happiness. So everyone's searching for love. And they think that by finding love, we'll be happy. So this happiness and love are intermingled. In this world, we're always searching for happiness, but that which we're trying to find happiness, trying to repose our desire for happiness in, is like a mirage. It looks very nice, but when we come nearby it, like in the desert, when you see a body of water from a distance and you're very thirsty, you run to get the water, but then you get there and it's only a cactus with many thorns, pokes you. So it's very painful. So that's the essence of trying to find happiness and enjoyment in this world. But the principle is that we want happiness, because we are Amritasya Putra. We are the children of, or we're coming from that source of divine energy and the absolute truth, which itself has the nature of being relishing bliss. Anandamayo Bhyasat. We learned this sutra in the Vedanta Sutra number 12. Anandamayo Bhyasat. God himself is always relishing bliss and experiencing the exchange of bliss with his manifestations, or the manifestations of his energies. And he's always experiencing the exchange of bliss. Therefore, because we are coming from that absolute reality, Krishna and Shakti and Shaktiman, then we also have that nature of looking for happiness and prem and love and bliss. So this is natural for us, but what we are trying to do is not, this actually goes into what we're going to talk about today. I didn't realize, but it goes in nicely, because we are not in a process of negation, like Shunyavadis. Shunyavadis, Buddhists, for example, they say, ultimately we are trying to experience void and realize that we are nothing. This is the process of negation. But this is not our process, because we're coming from Krishna, Radharani themselves. They're always experiencing Ananda. And our nature is we are also seeking Ananda. We are also Anandamayo Bhyasat. Abhyasat means to practice or to repeat. Abhyas means practice, also repetition. So in this verse, Anandamayo Bhyasat, it means that because of the repetition of the word Ananda and Anandamaya throughout the Vedic scriptures, we understand that God is Anandamaya, filled with bliss, searching bliss, the abode of bliss. But abhyas also means practice. We're always practicing or repeating this process of trying to find happiness. But the real essence of all happiness is in prem, love. And so until we can achieve prem, pure love, we'll not be able to be truly happy. And in this world, all the ways we try to find love is very, it's very dim. It's like a dim reflection, and it's perverted. So it cannot give us real happiness. So we need to find real love by becoming in a relationship with our true spiritual identity and our like Krishna himself. loving reality, and we offer ourselves to Him, then we can experience pure love and happiness, because we are coming from Shakti Srimati Radhika, and we serve Krishna through her. This also connects to Manjari Bhav, that Ladinir Sar Prem, Prem Sar Bhav. So then, the essence of Prem is this ecstatic love. Bhav means actually like an ecstatic emotion. So in love, what is the quality of love that makes you feel happy in love? That is bhav. If there's no emotion, and there are many different kinds of bhavs. Some of the bhavs we're going to hear about in Dilap Pushpanjali, like Kilakinchit bhav. It's very sweet moods. It basically means ecstatic emotions and different types of moods. So if we don't feel moods and emotion and this kind of subtle flavors of a personality, then we won't experience so much happiness from prem. So the essence of Ladini, the pleasure-seeking potency or the pleasure potency, is love, and the essence of love is bhav. And then, what's the next line? Bhavera paramakasta na mahabhav. The topmost limit of bhav is mahabhav. And I don't want to get into too much detail now, because we want to go forward into Dilap Pushpanjali. But mahabhav, we have to have a class on what is mahabhav actually, because mahabhav is a very special thing and very secret thing. This is the topmost limit of bhav, the topmost limit of prem. The jivas can experience bhav up to a certain point, but Radhika, she experiences up to madanakya mahabhav. That's the topmost limit of mahabhav. Within mahabhav, there's also categories. So the topmost limit of mahabhav is called madanakya mahabhav. That's only in Srimati Radhika, also not in the Sakhis. That's why during Ras Leela, the gopis found Radhika and realized that she has more love for Krishna than we do, and they began to honor her. Even the gopis who weren't in Radhika's direct group began to honor Radhika. So that's because she has this madanakya mahabhav. Okay, so the essence of Ladini is prem, the essence of prem is bhav, and the topmost limit of bhav is mahabhav. And what is the form of that mahabhav? Mahabhava Swarupa Sri Radha Thakurani. The very form, embodiment of Mahabhav is Sri Radha Thakurani. Why does they use the word Thakurani? Because she is our divine mistress. She is our master, Thakur. So all our Goswamis, they will call her Thakurani or Swamini. She is our master. We don't say Krishna Thakur. We say Radha Thakurani. Krishna is Gopal. He is a boy, we serve him, we cook for him, we play with him. But Radha is Thakurani. Radha Rani, we offer pranam, we are always praying to and serving. When we pray for mercy, we pray for Radha Rani's mercy. That's why if you see on the altar, Krishna is playing his flute, but Radhika is giving her blessings. Because she is Thakurani, and Krishna is Gopal, he is Muralidhar. Muralidhar means he who holds the flute. Muralidhar. But Radhika, she is Thakurani, so she is giving her blessings for all the devotees who are aspiring to serve Krishna through her. So when we say that we're searching for happiness, and we're searching for happiness through trying to find love. Ladinirasad prem. So we're searching for happiness by trying to find love in this world, and ultimately we can learn that this world is temporary and we cannot find real permanent love in this world, so we'll try to experience that in the transcendental world. But how we can experience that, it's only through Srimati Radhika, because she is Ladini Shakti. Without Srimati Radhika, we can also not experience happiness or love. Any semblance of happiness or love that is experienced in this world is also one of Radhika's energies. All types of energy are coming from her ultimately. So when we are in the spiritual world, we don't experience that Ladini or Prem directly through Krishna. We experience it through the medium of Srimati Radhika and through her service. So that's the specialty of our line, is that we understand that we are only servants of Thakurani, Srimati Radhika. So Sarva Gunakani, she is the abode or mine of all treasure-like qualities. Sarva Gunakani. Kani means a mine. So if you're searching in a mine, you find many jewels. So Srimati Radhika is the treasure mine of all kinds of jewels-like qualities. And that is Sarva Gunakani Krishna Kanta Shiromani. She is the crest jewel of all Krishna's beloveds. Okay, so we learned those two verses, and now we're going to talk a bit about Dilap Kusumanjali. So we can remember those verses and all these Radha Tattva verses we've learned, because they're very important for us. And we meditate on these verses and pray to Srimati Radhika for her grace that we can progress in this path to attaining her loving service. Alright, so we're going to read the second verse of Vilak Kusumanjali and discuss it. Verse number 2. And we can discuss if we want to learn it. It's a very sweet verse, actually. It's a bit longer, so we'll use a different melody, okay? Stala kamalini yuktam garvita kananesmin pranaya sivarahasyam pushpagucha chalena apinikilalatasta sora bhakta samunchan mrigayati tava margam krishna bringo yadadya. Vilak Kusumanjali 2. O lotus tree, on the pretext of this bunch of new blossoms, you are now broadly smiling in this forest. You have every right to be proud. After all, the black Krishna bee has left all the fragrant flower vines and he is now searching for the pathway to you. This is a very mysterious verse, but very sweet. So actually these verses have different meanings, which are like layers of meanings, and they are all can be true. But it's important to learn the different layers. This verse and the next verse particularly have many different layers of meaning. The next verse is also very sweet. So, just to summarize from what we were talking about yesterday, and then it continues along with this, that we're talking about Vaidhi Bhakti and Raganuga Bhakti, right? Now, one thing Gurudev says is that without Vaidhi Bhakti, you cannot attain Raganuga Bhakti. Gurudev said in his commentary to Vilak Kusumanjali that without performing the rules and regulations of spiritual life properly, you cannot attain path of spontaneous loving devotion. Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings, Vidhi Marga Ratta Jane Swadinata Ratna Dane Raga Marg Karana Pravesh Raga Varshavarti Hai Paragiya Bhavashrai Lobe Jeev Krishna Prema Vesh. That by following the path of rules and regulations of spiritual conduct, Vidhi Marga Ratta Jane Swadinata Ratna Dane, then we receive the jewel of our spiritual independence, which means the free expression of our love for Radha and Krishna in the spiritual world. The free movement of our love. That means independence, Swadinata. But how do we get that jewel of independence and the freedom to express our love? Through following Vidhi Marga. But the way we follow Vaidhi Marga is with the goal in mind. That's the difference. Some people follow Vaidhi, just the rules and regulations. I have to chant, I have to do this, I can't eat that, I have to follow this vrat, I have to not eat this, follow this, vow. Some people do it without any goal in mind, or without the goal of Raganuga Bhakti in mind, or without the goal of Srimati Radhika's service in mind. Then that Vaidhi Bhakti is not what we're following. It doesn't lead to any good result. We said it's just like going around and aimlessly in a car. The sadhana is your vehicle, and if you don't know where you're going, then you're just running around aimlessly. So we're doing Vaidhi Bhakti with a particular aim. So it's like Vaidhi Bhakti with the desire for Raganuga Bhakti and starting on the basic path of Raganuga Bhakti. But we cannot give up Vaidhi Bhakti until we've achieved the qualification for real Raganuga Bhakti. It said that Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatra Vidimbina Ekantiki Hari Bhakti Utpat Eva Kevalam. If we don't follow the rules and regulations prescribed in the Shrutis, the Smritis, the Vedas, Upanishads, the Puranas like Srimad Bhagavatam, Mahabharata, then instead we think we'll do one-pointed devotion, but we only become a disturbance, utpat, to ourselves and to others. So we follow Vaidhi Bhakti, but with this mood and desire for Raganuga Bhakti. So that's on one side. The other side is that people, if they only follow Vaidhi Bhakti, or like in this world, many people, they try to forcibly control their senses or negate everything. Oh, everything is void. We're just going to become nothing. This is all Maya. It's all illusion. And this is only the negative path. And it doesn't lead to any positive result. Unless we have that conception, like we have both sides. It's called neti. Neti means not this, not this. Neti, neti, neti. Mayavadis do this. Oh, this is not God. This is not the soul. This is not it. This whole world is bogus. Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya. This whole world is false. So this is the path of negation. But we're not following that path. We're following... See, it's called Nivritti Marg and Privritti Marg. Privritti Marg means the path of sense gratification in this world, and Nivritti Marg means the path of renunciation. So to some degree, we are following the path of renunciation, Nivritti Marg. But it's the pathway is the pathway of anurag, not the pathway of just dry vairagya. Some people are follow like nivritti, renunciation, only with vairagya, renunciation, and everything becomes dry. Rudy likes to say this verse, suskam kastam. The heart becomes dry like a desert. That's not our process. We'll renounce things, like certain things we're living in the ashram. There's many things that people like to do in this world that we're not doing. Smoking, drinking, womanizing, this and that we're avoiding completely. So this is like we could say, oh, we're renouncing something. But our point of view is that we're not renouncing anything. It's like when you pass stool, you don't think you're renouncing the stool. You don't, I have to leave you. When you go to the bathroom, you're not like crying every time. And, oh, my dear stool, please. And like embracing it, smelling. This is like the mundane idea is that, oh, we're announcing something very wonderful whenever we leave something in this world. But if we come to spiritual realization, we know it's like renouncing stool. So when Raghunath Das Goswami came to Puri, Mahaprabhu said, oh, very good. You have renounced the stool pit of material life, in family life, and I'm very happy, and he embraced him. It's said that if you're a renunciate like a brahmachari sannyasi and you go back to family life afterwards, it's called being a vomit eater, vantasi, or a stool eater, because you gave it up for something higher. And then why are you going back and looking for the lower thing again? So we don't think we're renouncing anything great. What are we renouncing? Like, we're in the ashram. If we're living in our homes, we have to work so hard just to get some food to eat. We have to work day and night. Here we get 3 feasts every day. What are we renouncing? Cooked by Prabhuji, maid servant of Srimati Radhika. What are we renouncing? It's Maya. Maya is the idea that, oh, we're renouncing something great. When really we're in the dham, in the topmost position of a jiva in this world. We have the most fortunate position of any jiva in this world. There's 7 billion humans, and how many billion ants and flies and mosquitoes and birds and fish in the ocean? How many billions and trillions of jivas in this world, and of them, how many people are living in the Dham, in Vrindavan, following Rupa Goswami's 5 limbs of bhakti? He says, Dham Vas, stay in the Dham, do Kirtan, do Bhagavat Shravan, Tadpriti Vasatestale, like stay in the Dham with love and serve the Didi in Sadhu Sangha. Who has that chance? But we have that chance, so what are we renouncing? It's Maya to think we're renouncing something. That's Maya. We're here, we're embracing everything that's valuable in this world. We're giving up, renouncing anartha. Anartha means what has no value. Artha means value. Anartha means we're giving up what has no value and we're embracing what has real value. So we're not renouncing anything. So we're not, if people who follow just the negative path think, oh, I'm giving up this, I'm giving up that, I'm giving up this, and they're, oh, that's Maya. What are we giving up? So we're following the positive path, vairagya with anurag. Anurag means idea about the sweetness and beauty of this path and the love that we can find on this path. You can tell me what time it is? We can do 5 more minutes. Okay, 5-10 minutes, no problem. So anurag means we follow rules and regulations of Vaidhi Bhakti, but with anurag. And what is that anurag? It's by always praying to and following the footsteps of the Manjaris, Rupa Manjari, and particularly our Gurudev. We discussed this before, because without our Gurudev, we have no access. We don't have acquaintance with Lalita Vishaka Rupa. Who taught us about Lalita Vishaka Rupa Rati? Our Gurudev. Our Gurudev is one of their associates, so we prayed to Gurudev. We understood his position. We talked about this yesterday. Radha Samukha Samshaktim Sakhi Sangha Niveshinam. That Guru is among the Sakhis of Srimati Radhika, a Pran Sakhi, Nitya Sakhi, or Manjari. There are 5 kinds of Sakhis. Sakhi, Priya Sakhi, Priyanarma Sakhi, Nitya Sakhi, Pran Sakhi. So Manjaris are Nitya and Pran Sakhis. So we pray to Gurudev, and we follow, and we pray for Gurudev's Anurag, divine love. We learn this verse, Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavitamati. From them we can receive this Krishna Bhakti Ras, and then we can develop spiritual greed, and that greed is the only currency by which we can attain our desired goal of Krishna Prem. Not millions of years of Sukriti. So it's very interesting, because here it says, Koti Janma Sukriti Nalabhyate. By millions of lifetimes of Sukriti, you cannot obtain this divine greed. You have to receive that greed and that Krishna Bhakti Ras directly from someone who has it. But at the same time we learn, Bhaktistu Bhagavad Bhakta Sangena Parijayate Satsanga Prapite Pumbi Sukritir Purva Sanchitai. Right? That we enter into Sadhu Sangha or Bhagavat Sangi, Sangasya, That's another verse we learned. Bhagavat Sangi Sangasya Martyanam Kimutasisa. We get the association of a sadhu, who is Bhagavat Sangi, associate of Krishna, by the accumulation of Sukriti, in the line of Bhakti, Bhakti Unmukhi Sukriti. Then we can get into Satsanga, and then we can get Bhakti. So Sukriti is like the first stage, and then we come into Sadhu Sangha. But there's different levels of Sadhu Sangha. Unless we get Sadhu Sangha of a real Bhavuk Rasik Vaishnav, or Raganuga Bhakta, Rupanuga Bhakta, then we cannot get this Anurag that the Brajavasis have, or the Anurag that the Manjaris have. So that's why we're so fortunate we get association of Guru and Vaishnavas who themselves have this Anurag, Braj Anurag, and we're following this positive path of Braj Anurag. So, back to the verse. Stala Kamalini Yuktam. So this verse says that generally lotuses live in the water, in a lake, right? Generally found lotuses in a lake, but now this is called a Stala Kamalini. It's a lotus that is on the land. So it's very wonderful. There are some kinds of lotuses that are very rare, and they grow on the land. Like you can find some kinds of jewels that are very precious and very rare, and you find that, then it's very wonderful. So already, Stala Kamalini, it means it's a very special thing. That you found this, they found this lotus that is growing, and is very beautiful, and it's on the land. So then, Prabhuji tells the pastime that actually all of the manjaris are like different kinds of flowers. In the spiritual world, they're all expressions of the moods of love of Srimati Radhika. They're all expansions of Srimati Radhika herself. Like a creeper has many flowers, and the flowers are the gopis. Or the manjaris, the buds and the flowers, they're also the gopis. So because they're natural manifestations of Radhika's love for Krishna, she has desire to serve and please Krishna, and then she manifests in millions of forms of gopis and manjaris so that she can expand her ability to serve and please Krishna, right? So all the manjaris are like these flowers. So naturally Radhika has some sense of, not pride, but like she is happy to see them because they're connected to her. And when she sees the manjari's beauty, Radhika feels some transcendental pride. Meaning like some happiness. Like when a parent is happy or proud of their child. You know? Because they're coming from her. So therefore, she's very happy to see that they're very beautiful. And they're full of good qualities. And of all the manjaris, Rupa Manjari is the topmost. So therefore, she's especially happy to see Rupa Manjari. It said, this verse has different layers of meaning. And we're going to hear the next layer tomorrow. This layer we're going to hear about is how this land lotus is described to be like Rupa Manjari. And then the next layer we're going to hear about is how the land lotus is actually Srimati Radhika. But really, Rupa and Radhika are very close together. So it's very hard to separate Rupa and Radharani. So the land lotus means, it's described that when Krishna and Radhika and the gopis, or one time, so when you have many sweet flowers full of nectar, then if there are bees, then the bees like to drink the nectar of all the flowers. That's the nature of the bee. If there's flowers with so much nectar in them, sweetness, then bees will go. You can see in the morning if you go in a garden, the bee will go and drink nectar from one flower, and then the next flower, and the next flower. So Krishna is described to be Krishna Bringa in this verse. He's the bee, black bee Krishna. And he likes to taste the nectar from the different flowers. So it's said that for the sake of rasa, Srimati Radhika shows man sometimes. If Krishna goes to different Sakis or like Chandravali, then Radhika shows some man, some jealous anger. That why is Krishna going to someone else? He says he's my one and only beloved. He only loves me. So why is he going to someone else? So this is one mood she has to enhance their meeting in their Parakiya Ras. If Krishna goes to someone, she feels like Krishna cheated on her. Chandra Saki especially. Sometimes Radhika, Narad Muni, to cause trouble, he told Radharani, oh, Krishna's on a swing with Lalita, playing with Lalita, and you should go and see. He says he's only in love with you, but why is he meeting with Lalita? And Narad showed her, and Radhika experienced man then. And then Krishna he begged forgiveness. He said, look, Narad Rudi, it was Narad Muni's fault, you know. Narad Muni once came to Krishna and asked for a boon, and Krishna said, okay. He said, I want to see you exchanging garlands with Lalita and swinging with her on one swing. He arranged this just to create Radhika's man, you know. So Krishna said, oh, Narad Muni asked me to do this, what can I do? But I only love you. The point is that Radhika will show man sometimes if Krishna meets with someone else. But sometimes also it's said that without her desire, Krishna would never meet with anyone else. And when Krishna meets with others, he only experiences the love of Srimati Radhika. Krishna is also in love, because Radhika and Krishna are the original Shakti and Shaktiman, right? So wherever Krishna is meeting with someone, it's a manifestation of his Shakti. And especially with the Kaya Vyuha expansions of his Radhika herself, then he experiences Radhika through them. And without Radhika's desire, it's not possible that Krishna would also go to them. She has some desire there, but still, she will show. Desire means that it's not like it's like on her conscious level all the time. But she has desire that Krishna will meet with the other gopis. Otherwise, how would Krishna do that? Why would he do that? So that's one thing that Prabhupada says, and Gurudev also says the same thing. Without Radhika's desire, Krishna would never go, especially to her manjaris. And the first verse says that how is it that Krishna has come and bit the lip of Rupa Manjari? How is it possible? Without Radhika's desire or permission, it's never possible Krishna would go. The Manjaris are Radhika's own protected group. Krishna would never disturb them. So Radhika, it said she had some desire. That Stala Kamalini means the lotus on the land. It's so beautiful. Radhika and Krishna is a bumblebee. So Radhika wants Krishna to see the sweetness and the beauty of the flower. So it said that Radhika was with her group of manjaris and gopis, and Krishna was coming nearby like a bumblebee. But he was a little bit hidden in the trees. Like sometimes a bumblebee is hidden in the trees. So Krishna was a little bit hidden. And then Radhika called forward Rupa Manjari. Said, Rupa Manjari, you should come forward. Like she called her forward. And then Radhika gave a sidelong glance to Krishna. Just look how beautiful this flower is. This Stala Kamalini. Look, she is now here on the... Normally you find lotuses in the water, in the lake. But look how beautiful my Rupa is. She's like as beautiful as I am. And she's conveying this all from her sidelong glance to the bumblebee Krishna. And saying, just look at this beautiful flower. So she's saying, you should go close, look at the beautiful flower, but you should not pick and touch and carry away. Like sometimes bees, what they'll do is they'll rip the petals and everything. So she said, go and look at the flower and then see the beauty of the flower. So it said Krishna was going like a bumblebee, and then he went, and as Radhika said this also with her glance, then she also departed to a kunj. Radhika left. So she made the situation. Sometimes Radhika will also test the manjaris and send Krishna to them and see how they will react. So Radhika indicated by her sidelong glance to Krishna, and then she disappeared into a kunj. And then Krishna came like a bee and grabbed Rupa Manjari and kissed her lip. Gurudev describes this, Prabhupada describes this. So we shouldn't think Gurudev said this, Prabhupada said this. This is described in both their commentaries. So then, Rupa Manjari, how did she react? She was like shocked. And very shy, and then she ran into the kunj where Srimati Radhika was, and she hid under her chadar, her dopat, and she began crying. She's saying, why is Krishna touched and disturbed me? So it said, first we should understand also that Krishna will never, another thing to remember is that Krishna will never take something as his bhoga unless it's ekantic, one-pointed and pure. If it's already remnants, Krishna won't touch it. So this is one thing to learn also, is that we see the manjaris, the gopis, they're all one-pointed in their love. That's why Krishna will have relationship with them, because Krishna doesn't accept any remnants. Even though the gopis have some so-called marriage, they never meet with their husbands. The husbands always stay at a distance and respect them. It's only for one, it's like in a drama, in a play. It's only for the sake of their play, their drama. But really the gopis are only dedicated to Krishna. So then Krishna will accept them. So they are only one-pointedly like that. But the manjaris, they are one-pointedly dedicated to Srimati Radhika. They're Radhika Adik Sneha. They're more attached to Radharani than Krishna. But still, Krishna won't accept anything as his prasad unless it's pure and one-pointed. So when Rupa went to Radharani, he said, I am completely pure. I'm not polluted. But now Krishna has touched me and taken me and now polluted me. Why? This shows that she is Radhika Adik Sneha. She wants to be Radha's prasad, not Krishna's prasad. Saying, why have you come to me? Why has Krishna come to me? So then she was like weeping under Radhika's chadar. And I think we can pick up from here tomorrow. Leave it as a cliffhanger there. What time is it?
11.
10. Okay, so we'll just touch one more thing, okay? So it said, we'll talk about this tomorrow. Prabhuji makes this point then. What should we be? Krishna Anushilanam or Krishna Anushilanam? In Rupa Goswami's verse, he says, Anyabilasta Shunyam Jnana Karmadhyanavritam Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam Bhakti Rutama. The topmost bhakti is giving up all other desires, not being covered by karma or gyan or yoga, etc.,